Hello and welcome to The Villain Was Right, the podcast where we look at movies and TV shows from the villain's perspective and dare to ask, were they really all that bad? I'm your host, Craig Fay.
And I'm your host, Rebecca Reeds.
And today on the podcast, we are covering Just Friends, the Ryan Reynolds, Amy Smart romantic comedy from the 2000s at some point.
Yeah, romance feels like a loose term. But yes, technically, yes.
Yeah, and this was my first time actually watching this.
I have definitely seen this movie a couple of times, but I saw it when I was probably when it first came out. I'd be 15.
Yeah.
And I think I watched it maybe a couple more times after that, and then just lost it in my adulthood. And upon rewatch, I know why. I know why.
Yeah,
that's not in the rotation.
It feels like a movie of its time. And
know when this movie was made. Okay, you don't have to Google nothing. You're like, this is a mid-2000s movie if I've ever... This is the height of mid-2000s. It's got every mid-2000s trope in it. It's got homophobia. It's got fat phobia. It's got a bunch of people that shouldn't be together. It's got a bunch of like toilet humor. You know what I mean? That kind of shit. And you're like, all right, and it's comedy.
It's comedy because
comedy, baby.
Things are weird.
Hey.
We have mild sexual assaults.
Yes.
Yeah, just all over the place. So not very of a time and does not smack of classique. You know what I mean? Had nothing in it.
Smack of classique.
No.
Yeah, I'd say. Holy lifted.
There's nothing that's bringing this into the 22nd century. You know?
No. Like, what I will say is this is it's a quick watch. Okay,
yep.
it's about an hour and a half. It's a quick watch. I don't hate it.
Yeah.
But I certainly don't love it.
Yeah, there's been some attitudes that have changed since then, or should have changed since then. And guys, if you are like me and you have never seen Just Friends before, the title sort of gives it a little bit away. What's happening is we've got Chris Brander, played by Ryan Reynolds, and Jamie Palomino, played by Amy Smart. And it's 1995, and they are graduating high school. And wouldn't you know it, Chris has got a couple extra pounds on him, and he's got braces, and he's got the curly hair and everything. And his best friend, Jamie, they do everything together. He's got a whole wall of pictures of them together, and he's going to confess in her yearbook that he's always really loved her and had feelings for her and wants to do this. So night of the prom or whatever, he takes her aside and gets her to read, and he keeps getting interrupted by the hot jock football player or the nerdy music guy played by Chris Klein, who can't play the guitar.
Dusty
Dinkelman. And finally, he goes and gives her the yearbook, and all the yearbooks have been switched, and the crazy jock has the yearbook and reads everything that he, all these heartfelt messages about Jamie, reads it to the whole party, and everyone's laughing at him, and everyone's making fun of him, and basically, Jamie is like, oh, did you mean all that? I love you so much. I love you like a brother. I love you like a friend or whatever. Mm-hmm. And then he rides away and is like, fuck this town.
Yeah.
And then we fast forward to, I guess, 2005, because that's 10 years after they graduated. Yep. And wouldn't you know it, Ryan Reynolds is no longer in the fat suit.
Ooh, he's hot.
He's hot, and he's now a womanizer. And he sleeps with all these hot LA women and never takes them out on a second date. And he works at a cool music thing. a music label, I guess, doing question mark. We don't know, but he has a latte in a suit, and he's really cool. And his boss, Casey, played by Stephen Root.
Yeah.
Stephen Root is my ideal celebrity career. If I could have Stephen Root's career, I would love it.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I get that.
You know, you recognize him. He's in good stuff. He's done good work, but you wouldn't stop him.
He's funny.
Yeah.
He's got great timing. Yeah. Fabulous.
He's been in Dodgeball. He's been in this. He's been in, but he's been in Fargo and whatever. Anyway, he's done it all. Anyway, that's an aside. So he sends, he's like, you know what? We need this hot celebrity to come and sign with our label. So over Christmas, I forgot this was a Christmas movie. We should have covered this in December, but whatever.
I think it's fine. Honestly, the Christmas does not land that much in this movie.
It's more of an excuse to be at home. In New Jersey.
It's an excuse to be home, and it's an excuse to fuck up a bunch of decorations.
Yeah, that's true.
pretty much,
so they send, so he's going to fly to Paris with Samantha James, played by Anna Faris, who is fantastic in this.
Unhinged in the most brilliant way possible.
Yes.
She's nuts, and she plays it perfectly.
Yeah.
I believe her.
Dumb and insane.
I believe.
Anna Faris has just that, like, she's got that on lock.
And it's hard. I genuinely believe this, and I've seen a few interviews with actors talking about this. It's hard to play dumb. It is, because you have to have a certain dimness behind the eyes.
Yeah.
Like, it's very, like, there's layers to it.
know as the actor why the thing that you're doing is stupid.
Yes.
But also, as the actor, it's not stupid.
It's not stupid, because that's my motivation.
Yeah. So they're going to go to Paris because they have, like, somewhat of a romantic background. And she microwaves tinfoil on the airplane, so they're forced to emergency land in Jersey.
Love it.
So they go and stay with his parents, and wouldn't you know it, they go out to a bar, and there's Jamie.
Woo!
Ooh, still hot, still slinging beer behind the bar.
Woo!
And they go on a date, and he's an asshole, and she doesn't like him anymore. And they go on another date, and he's like, "Oh, you want the sensitive guy?" So he, like, basically becomes, like, the biggest wiener ever, and she doesn't like that either. And he's like, "I need to win her over." And they go tobogganing or whatever, or skating, and he beats up a bunch of children.
Yep.
And then falls down, and then the paramedic shows up, and wouldn't you know it, it's Dusty Dinkelman, and Dusty is now hot and confident and a paramedic, and he asks her out, and they go out on a date, or a group date together, and they all go to see The Notebook, and like, she brings Dusty along. He's like, "Come on." And basically, it's a whole bunch of him being unpleasant to her.
Yep.
Her never really liking him, but he's hot now, so she has to like him. And then turns out Dusty has a completely unearned villain turn where he's an asshole somehow.
Yeah.
Where he's just sleeping with her to get back with her, and like singing the same song to more than one woman.
Yep.
And Chris like jumps in and is like, "This guy's an asshole." She goes, "You're an asshole." He flies back to LA. Anna Faris Samantha is pawned off on his younger brother and gets a concussion and gets all these sorts of things. I am so here to defend Samantha's journey through this movie, because she got done so dirty.
She did get done dirty.
She thinks she's in a relationship with this guy, by the way.
Yes.
And is spending Christmas with his family instead of going to Paris. And anyway, end of the thing. He's like, "No, this is never going to happen. I don't like you," and flies back to Jersey, apologizes to her, to Jamie, and she immediately forgives them. Roll creds. Roll creds.
That is a frosty
Right? Did I
shake.
forget anything?
No. You got all you got all the main parts. Yep. Nailed it.
So, I mean, as villains, I would say I've got Samantha, Anna Faris's character, the crazy woman.
Yeah.
Who's crazy.
Yep.
Dusty.
Yes, of course.
And a little bit Casey, the boss, Stephen Root.
Oh, okay. I didn't clock him as a villain, but I get your angle.
Yeah.
I understand.
Any others that...
No, I don't think so. I mean, maybe the kids.
The kids are pretty mean in this.
I think they're rightfully mean.
Like when they're in high school, do you mean, or the kids who are always hanging around?
The kids are hanging around, not the high school,
who
like
are
not the
commenting
flashback
about like, ew, gross.
Well, then to say also the high school kids that make fun of him.
Oh, the high school bully that we
yes.
see. Yeah, Tim, I think is his name. Like that. Yeah,
he would also be like a side villain, but he's so quick and fast, and nothing really. They just do that for a gag. A few scenes later where he's, an adult and obviously he's still wearing his high school jacket, still living in the past.
Head shaved into male pattern baldness because the actor actually has hair.
Yes! is so clearly shaved, so funny.
But it still works. I'll defend him as well.
Mm-hmm.
I do think, and based on the name of the movie, I'm also going to throw that the movie thinks Jamie is a bit of a villain in this as well.
Oh, interesting.
I think the movie thinks that
the friend zone is like the friend zone's a villain.
Yes,
and
that's probably a better way to put it.
Yes, the friend zone is a villain of this, and I cannot. I'm looking right at you, buddy. Like, I can't understand. I'm like, okay, to give a good example of this. Okay, so Craig and I last night.
Oh, yeah.
We're out at a bar, okay? And this guy comes up. It's us and Andrew Ivimey, our producer. So we did this golf course gig. We're hanging out at a pub afterwards.
That's literally called The Pub.
Yeah, it's literally called The Pub. Okay, which is so funny. Great, yes. It's called The Pub.
And I looked at the Google review of it before we went, and it said, has 2 tables. And I was like, what kind of fucking small town are we at where they're advertising that they have 2 tables? They meant pool tables.
Yes,
but I was
okay. And I'm not going to get into the story super because I am going to talk about this man at the end of this episode.
Oh, okay.
But what I will say is at one point he's talking to us and he goes, well, he looks at me and says, okay, so which one of these guys is your boyfriend? And I was like, And that's fine to add, but I'm like, oh no, these are like my colleagues. These are my friends.
Yeah.
Okay. Like we were on a job tonight and now we're hanging out. And he goes, oh, like, and he kind of is like, oh, are you guys like gay or what? And I'm like, what is happening?
Yeah.
And then he starts saying the word friend zone. He goes, you got friend zoned, buddy. You got friend zoned. I cannot imagine adult people still thinking about friend zones. Like, those are real fucking things. I think, and I don't say this to insult you, Craig, because I think the feeling is wholly mutual. Mm-hmm. The idea of breaching that with you makes me feel ill. It stresses me out.
Yeah, okay.
You are my brother.
Fair enough.
Do you understand?
I do.
We're family, okay? I can't even imagine. It's so far beyond friend zone. I'm like, we're both in that boat. It's not like
we are friends.
We are friends. We are just friends. There's no zone.
Yeah.
Okay. There's no, like, it's not like every single, we're the opposite sex, so there's gotta be tension here. Literally no. Never has there been, never will there be. Okay? There is, and it has nothing to do with like, how attractive somebody is or how they whatever. It's just like, no, we're just that's how it is.
That's the relationship. Yeah. And I mean, yeah.
Sorry, I threw a lot out. Okay, I gotta process everything.
No, and you're right, but we're also very much adults,
yes.
And I do think like we are mature. We have mature, but there is a thing, and I'm gonna say it's particularly for young men where it is difficult. Sorry, not young men. I'm going to say for young people, it is difficult to try and figure out what your relationship is with other people because communication is hard.
Yes.
And feelings are new and everything like that. So I think where it gets like icky though is the friend zone being used as like you owe me this or we get along because like you like but you're so cute and you're rolling on the bed and like you're doing and how could you not feel the same way that I do. So I think that's where it gets tricky, but there's so much gray area where both groups of people or both people when you're young are so bad at negotiating boundaries and communicating feelings that's where you run into problems and that's where you run into hurt feelings and feelings of betrayal and expectation and all the rest. It's so hard and complicated and is no service is done to it by being like the just friends or friend zone.
So, and this leads me to my point, which is acceptable in high school.
Yeah.
not acceptable when you're 30.
Yes.
You're almost 30. Okay. Like if that timeline adds out, you know what I mean? Like 28, maybe 29. Okay. You're almost 30. Friend zones are gone. They're gone. They're not a thing we should discuss. There's not like this idea of a bunch of like, let's say like older 20-year-olds, okay, or elder 20, you know what I mean? You're kissing 30, okay? You're kissing 30 and you're having conversations with your friends of like, oh, yo, no, you can't bring her on a date. If it's lunch, it's not going to lead to anything. I'm like, oh, y'all need to grow up. We need to grow up quickly because these are not the conversations we should be having amongst friends. Okay, you know what I mean? Like and there's something to like being like, oh, you know, I've got a roster. But if you say like something like, oh yeah, I've got a roster. Okay, I've got a rotating group of people that I see and I sleep with and whatever. The mature thing here is that we've all had that discussion.
Yeah,
we all know what time it is with each other, okay? And if this discussion shifts, then the relationship shifts, okay? There's no trickery. There's no trying to figure out your angle or how to, like, the thing that puts me off of this movie is that the entire time it's all about tricking somebody to sleep with you.
Yeah.
And it can't, why, a trick? No.
Well, she wants a sensitive guy, so I'll pretend to be sensitive.
So I'm going to jump into, and I know he's kind of like the main villain, but I really want to talk about Dusty. Mm-hmm. Here's who I want to talk about, because the thing is the only difference between him and Ryan Reynolds' character is that Dusty sticks his tongue out more. That is the only thing that makes him more of a villain. And arguably, if you go like line for line, like what these two men do, Chris, who is Ryan Reynolds' character, Chris does a lot more bullshit things. He beats up kids. He yells at people. He fucking loses his mind. He tries to not invite his own mother to a movie. She would love to go.
You haven't been home in 10 years. Disgusting behavior.
Unless obviously like you've cut contact with your parents for valid reasons.
He's flown them out to LA.
He's just like he has
seen them, but
he's hurt on his high school experience. He doesn't want to go back to town. You can still go back to town and not see anybody.
Yeah.
I do that all the time. I go home and I go to my brother's place or I go to my parents' place, and that's where I'm staying.
Yeah, you know, yeah.
I'm not out here going to bars, whatever. Sit down with your goddamn mother. She is thrilled to see you.
You show up at her, like, I think it's the day before Christmas Eve, like the 23rd or something like that.
Yeah, that's right. I think it's the 23rd,
And you haven't been home in 10 years, and you go to a bar that night? No. Sit there with your mother. Have a conversation. Have a
little cocoa, okay? Like, put your feet up.
Put a little Bailey's in there. We're all adults, but
that is my Christmas beverage. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but like also you brought a girl home. I know that it's like that's complicated or whatever, but like still, just like sit there and be with it. And while we're talking about staying with family, can we jump to this brother for a while?
Hilarious.
Because here's another.
Let's just go.
Here's another. I think he's another little villain.
Certainly,
he's certainly an unapologetic pervert. But the other thing about it is this really bothered me about their relationship. They have a really like brother on brother, we're gonna beat each other up, sit on each other kind of relationship, right? I don't think that works. Because they explicitly say that the younger brother is 18, so that it's okay that when Samantha
is like hitting on him,
hits on him and stuff, that it's like legal and fine. But that also, and they also say it's been 10 years since they graduated high school, which means that Ryan Reynolds' character is 28, was 18 when he graduated high school, which means that his brother, who is now 18, 10 years later, was 8 years old when he left the house for college. So you had an 18-year-old and an 8-year-old who have developed a relationship where they're beating each other up all the time. It doesn't
make any sense to me.
No. That is too big of an age gap, right?
It doesn't make any sense to me.
Like, if you're 8 and 10, that's your relationship, and now you're adults and you're still beating each other. When you're 18 and 8, you 10
I also
years
don't
apart?
think that works if you're 28 and 18.
No.
Okay, it was weird for me to watch because I kept going, what? Why?
Some brothers don't ever get out of that, and it's more of like
interesting.
It's more of like a playful thing once they're actually adults, because like, we always used to roughhouse as kids.
Okay, sure.
So we roughhouse now. But like, when it's that big of an age gap, like a 16-year-old and a 6-year-old are beating each other up all the time?
No, it seems weird.
No, you don't have that antagonistic. You shouldn't have that antagonistic relationship with that big of an age gap, in my opinion, anyway. That's one thing that bothered me.
And I mean, all of his brother did was really try and help him out the whole time.
Yeah.
I mean, it was to his own advantage, obviously, or what he perceived to be his own advantage. I also love that he just left the windows down on the Porsche.
That seems like a younger brother thing to do.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
I was like, yep.
All frosted over.
Doesn't
inside.
have the attention span to know to put them up. Why were they down in the first place?
Yeah.
Who knows? Who cares? Let's go. I don't think his brother's 18. I don't think he's a villain or a problem, or he's 18 and he has a bunch of adults around him using him for various things. I'm like, oh, that sucks for you. I think this is not great for you.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
You should move away and not come back for 10 years.
Yeah, hell yeah. And I mean,
yourself.
They do say that he flies them out, so he does see them. It's not like he hasn't seen them in 10 years. But yeah, I think it's odd for your first night in to immediately go to a bar.
Yeah.
I think his mother is a darling. They make her, she is a lovely woman.
You see why, as a high schooler, he was so sensitive. Because, like, he was taught to be that way.
Yes. I think, just to, like, rotate it back to Dusty.
Yeah.
So, first of all, their characters are exactly the same. They're exactly the same. They're like, we feel like we weren't attractive in high school. We felt at that time we didn't have a lot to offer or what have you.
Yeah.
Now we're out here playing the field.
Yep.
Which is like Ryan Reynolds' character has several speeches that are the exact same as what's coming out of Dusty's mouth.
Yep.
Chris and Dusty are the same, okay? They're just in competition with each other. And he's like, no, you don't understand. That guy has changed the name every time he sings that song to another woman. And it's like, yeah, but he, first of all, did originally write it for her. That was for her, okay? Secondarily, the thing that gets you in the door is not even, it is you, but it's from the past. It's not even you currently. The thing that wins her over is a list he wrote in high school about 100 things he loves about her and gives it to her. And I'm like, I don't think that's credit that's due now.
No.
Write a new one. Can you write a second one? Let's see. Because I
haven't seen her in 10 years.
I haven't seen you in 10 years. You don't know anything about me, and you don't want to listen to the words that are coming out of my mouth. I try and tell you I'm a teacher, and you are surprised when kids are rallying around me because you weren't fucking listening.
Yeah.
Because you were trying to big dog me or whatever. Again, try and trick me into bed. The thing that drives me crazy about this movie is, and it's something we talk about a lot on this podcast, neither of these men. The fact that she ends up with Ryan Reynolds infuriates me. It infuriates me. This is not what should be going down here. This should be neither, okay, and a firm walk away. He did nothing to deserve that redemption.
No.
He did nothing to deserve that redemption.
No. And the version where he does deserve it is he comes back to town and she goes, oh my God, you look so good. And he goes, yeah, I really wasn't taking care of myself before. I did a lot of soul searching. I grew a lot. This is who I am now. I do this. It's growth. It's showing that you are a different person than you were 10 years ago. And you know what? So is she.
Yes.
She needs to be a different person than she was 10 years ago.
Hopefully. We hope.
Right?
We hope and we pray.
I was thinking about this the other night as like the idea of myself 20 years ago. It really irks me. I'm not like, it wasn't problematic or whatever, but it's just like, I don't like how I handled that. I don't like, my fears, what my insecurities were. I was like, ugh, and I'm like, all right, because you hopefully feel that way about yourself at every point in your life.
Because that means you're going up.
You're going up. Yeah. You're improving. And it's like, and I got no problem with like rekindling a relationship or like we didn't see eye to eye, or we weren't able to, because that to me is the biggest thing, right? Is that in high school, you were not able to accurately communicate or effectively communicate what your feelings are for that person, because it's not wrong to have feelings for her, right? Or to want it to be more.
Yes.
But the expectation of like, I want to confess this, and therefore then you're going to see it all and we'll be together. Like, that can't be the fantasy. Like, it's got to be this, like, again, it's a negotiation that I have not been mature enough to do at various points in my life, where you go like, listen, I really like you and I want this to be more than what it is. And if you don't want that, then continuing to spend time together as intimately as we have is actually a problem for me.
Yes.
And we need to communicate how to sort that out.
Navigate that. We need to take like 6 months off or
6
something.
months where I go like, do I value you enough as like a friend to have you in my life, without that, or, it's hard. It's hard,
Totally. But this guy does not do that.
There's no character development. Dusty probably has more character development than Ryan Reynolds' character.
Yeah, I also love that it kind of feels like the movie paints him as somebody that learned all these things just to get women, and it's like, no, he's just very talented. Yeah. He's a very talented person.
Yes.
Okay.
He got better at guitar. Legit. That's not a fraud.
Yes. He's in the community. He's helping people. He's like he's an EMT. He volunteers with the kids. And it's like, listen, okay, I understand if you're like, wow, his motivation was bad. And it's like, I don't care. He's doing good. Yeah. Okay, like if somebody is like, oh, she donated a bunch of money to charity because she didn't want her ex to have it. Great.
The orphans don't care.
They don't care. Okay, it doesn't matter.
Well, and the other thing is, he is so charming to Jamie when the ambulance comes and everything. Not because he's trying to do a thing. It's like because that's how, like, she likes him because of the way that he's acting, which is nice and charming and whatever. But he's not putting that on.
Yeah.
Not really. Like, he's like, oh, it's nice to see you. You're looking great. Like, nothing about it seemed like a lie or like a line. You know what I mean? It's like he was being charming and she gave him his number because of that.
Yeah.
The villain turn that I think is so unearned at the end of this.
It does feel like it comes out of fucking nowhere.
Because he's just like, oh, I actually just want to sleep with her to get revenge because she wouldn't sleep with us in high school, which is gross, And then he slaps a woman on her ass, raises his fist to the boyfriend who's like, what the fuck? Sticks his tongue out and like walks out. You're like, oh.
And okay, and it actually feels like a plot hole because this is a small community. This is not a big city. Okay, this is it feels like a smaller town. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's got small town vibes. If that man was walking around acting like that, everybody would know that about him.
Right away.
Everybody would know, and nobody mentions that. I think even one of Chris's old friends goes, "Oh no, that's Dusty. He's great. Everybody loves him." So it feels so forced to have him have this flip where he like smacks some woman on the ass in a bar. I'm like, no, everybody would know about that the next day.
Yeah.
Him saying like, oh yeah, I just sleep with all these bitches and none of them know that like I'm doing this. And it's like, no, they would all know. Everybody would know. Everybody is in everybody's business in small town. I grew up in a small town. Everybody knows you know what's going on. Okay, if there's somebody running through everyone of a certain age group, we're all going to be talking to each other.
And you know what? If he is running through everyone in an age group, fine. Because probably everyone involved is okay with it because they know what's up.
Well, that's what I was thinking about that nurse. So there's a scene where he starts really macking on this nurse and he like sings her the song and just changes it to her name. And they're mack-a-lacking right in the middle of her job.
Yep.
There's no way that woman is like, oh, this man's in love with me. This does not have...
We're all 28 years old. We know what's going on. We have jobs that we...
That man's on a roster.
Yes.
That woman is sleeping with other men also.
Yes. It's fine.
It's fine.
And you know why it's more fine for him than Ryan Reynolds? Because he lives in the community.
Yeah.
He's there. Like, if he wins over Jamie and they sleep together, as is their choice and their right to do.
Yes.
Guess what? He doesn't fly back to LA. He's there. He's around. He could be a roster guy. He could be a boyfriend. Like, maybe it becomes that. But his weird take at the end where it's like, I'm sleeping to get revenge. You're like, no, you're not though.
Yeah.
You're not.
Like a really weird speech.
Yeah.
Again, honestly felt like a plot hole.
Like I can even get it if he would be like, you know what? It'd be really nice to hook up with Jamie. That would heal a bunch of things that I felt from high school. In that, like, oh, I am good enough now, and like, I have improved this much, and like, the hottest girl in school is now like, it's leveled out.
Yes.
I can see how that would be a boost to his self-confidence or whatever, or like reaffirm something. But like to do it for revenge is like what revenge? The revenge against your past self for not having anything to offer? Like that's the other thing. It's like these guys both got jacked. Jacked. Chris, they both got good careers. They're both respected within their communities, the Jersey community or the LA music community. They have developed things to offer people. And I don't want you to think that it's all transactional. But when you were like, yeah, they had nothing to offer people like for a relationship in high school, they didn't. And I'm sorry, this is going to sound harsh, but young boys, young men, you don't have anything to offer. That sucks. And you got to work. But you got to work really hard at having personalities and interests and getting to know people. It will come. And when you realize that, oh, yes, these are all the things that I do actually have to offer somebody.
And the narrative that it just feels so misogynistic of this is going to be revenge because if we sleep together, that ups my value and puts yours down because you're a woman. And it's just so ridiculous. It's such a weird take. It's very mid-2000s.
It doesn't up or down anyone's value. You're just doing a thing.
It's just it's sex. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, if it's like revenge in the sense of like, oh, I'm going to make her fall in love with me and I'm going to do this whole song and dance and then I'm going to sleep with her and then I'm going to be like, I leave you now. Then yes, maybe that is, I suppose, a revenge. But just sleeping with somebody... If you think sleeping with somebody is revenge, you probably have this very like misogynistic take of, a vagina's value goes down with the amount of penises that go in it, and penis price just goes up with each transaction. I don't get it.
It's ridiculous.
It's very weird.
That just reminded me of another point in the movie where the logic really doesn't make sense. Where it's Anna Faris's character, Samantha, trying to convince the younger brother to tell her where Ryan Reynolds had gone.
Yeah.
and he's like, I'll never tell you. And then she like kisses him and he tells her right away. I was like, that's not the play. He's like, no, I'll never tell you. Oh no, keep making out with me, trying to make you, like, he has the hots for her. You know what I mean? I'm like, I'm gonna give you what you want. I'm not gonna hold back what you want. I'm gonna give you what you want, and that's gonna make you get, you know.
Oh, I took that as like almost cartoony. Do you know what I mean? When like a cartoon kisses another cartoon and they're like, whoa, 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 whoa. Oh,
I can't control my brain anymore.
Yeah. I just kind of took it like that. I was like, that comedy. Comedy. Oh my God. This is honestly the most mid-2000s movie we've done in a fucking minute. It is drenched with every problem these movies have. Their perspectives on like how to date and what to do.
Like there's rules and games.
And games. I am so... I remember... Like, I don't want to say that it never happened in my life, okay? I remember being a bit gamey, okay? To be like, oh, okay, like I'm going to text them at this time, or I'm going to... whatever, I'm going to post this photo and hopefully, like, they see... You know what I mean? Like, trying to, like... figure out how to navigate things, and I'm just 35 now, and I'm so tired, and I couldn't be bothered.
Yeah,
couldn't lift a finger for a game. No, I am putting my dick on every table and be like, here it is. Do you like this? No, bye. Like,
what? Yeah,
let us not waste any more time because I'm
gonna text you right after the date because if I don't, I won't remember.
Yes, I
don't have to wait.
Every video I see of like, well, this is how you make sure you don't come off as desperate, or this is how you make sure you look good in their eyes, or how you seem desirable. Like, I'm even just listening to this, I'm tired. I'm so sleepy. I don't got that kind of juice in me, and I don't think anybody. If we could just get rid of all that, that would be just great. And I think we're kind of going in the right direction. It feels like, the younger generation has more and more emotional intelligence, which is a wonderful thing to see.
They know the words of more than 3 emotions.
Oh, yeah. Crazy. Oh, some of them know the wheel, dude. Can you imagine? Oh, buddy, if I had that wheel at like 13, I'd be fucking flying, man. Wow, I would be a different person. Holy shit. But these movies raised me, and this was all business as usual.
Are you jealous, angry, or horny?
Yeah. Oh, God,
I don't think horny is really an emotion. It's more
it
like
is.
A state of...
It is.
You think horny is an emotion?
It's something.
I think it's a layer on something. Like, I would say, like I wouldn't say hunger is an emotion.
Yeah. No, you're right.
I would say thirsty. I wouldn't say, like, hungry, thirsty, horny, constipated, diarrhea. None of these.
These are all just body things.
These are body things.
And
then you could stack an emotion on top of that. You can be angry shitting. You can be stress shitting. You can be grieving fucking. You can be
happy horny.
Happy horny. You can be angry horny. You can be
angry horny is terrifying.
You cannot be happy.
That is not a combination I watch.
You cannot be happy constipated. I don't think. I mean, I guess if you were anxious diarrhea before, you could be happy constipated.
Constipated. You could be happy constipated on a road trip. You'd be like, wow,
you're right.
This is great for me.
Do not have to stop.
Yeah. Until it gets to crisis mode. You get to day 5 and you're like, I actually might need to go to a hospital.
Day 5 is too much.
Buddy, I've hit day 5. I've hit day 5.
That's a...
Only once though, and it really tested me as a human being.
Do they have to use the spoon?
What?
Okay, no, they didn't.
What's the spoon?
If it's really bad, you got to go to the hospital and they like have to dig it out. Because like it's not...
Beg your
it's like
pardon.
I think it's like a medical spoon, but like they're not just going in there with like a teaspoon or whatever. But like they have to, because it's like it's too dense. It's not going to come out on its own.
I literally I'm feeling it in my body now. What do you mean? The spoon.
Describe the emotion. Point to the wheel. How you're feeling right now.
I'm feeling scared.
How does butt spoon make you feel?
Jesus Christ. Holy smacks.
And on that insane note, can we move to the most insane character in this?
Yeah.
Samantha.
Samantha's not. Okay. I would love to hear your defenses of Samantha because, okay, some of it I get. Some of it I'm like, yes, I understand. You think you're with this guy and he's using your past personal relationship to further his business relationship.
He is.
You're getting dogged, okay? But there's a few things here that are concerning as an individual. Number one, kind of racist. She's kind of racist. Okay, she says a few racist things at different times. And you're like, well, that's not great. Okay, that's not good to start. She is she runs a car through a property.
Yep.
Steals a car and runs it through a property, tearing down everything.
Somehow the lights catch on fire just because they're forcibly unplugged. Anyway, that was a disaster waiting to happen.
Oh, she just let them know they weren't up to code.
Right.
She was just exposing.
The fire is not her fault.
Yes.
If that gets lit on fire from a surge, that is horribly dangerous to begin with. But that's
her. Samantha's. Being like, oh, you're 18. That whole scene, I was like, well, I don't love that either. That's not great. That's a weird one for me. Yeah. What do you? Let's get into what the stuff you want to say on her because I'm interested.
No, because I agree. All of this stuff is terrible.
Yes,
and I can explain it all because this is the movie from her perspective. Okay, which is this guy shows up to your recording session, and the way that she acts, where she basically almost gives him a blowjob right then and there, she still thinks that they have an ongoing relationship of whatever sort, right?
That scene is hilarious, by the way. Yes. She's halfway getting his pants down and was like, oh, wait, I wrote a new song. Listen to it. Spectacular.
We'll love an ADHD girl.
Yeah.
And to the point where she goes, I'm going to spend Christmas in Paris. Come with me. He agrees. Right? Okay. And then the plane has to land. And what happens is she does all this crazy shit, right? She gets, but very soon on, she gets taken to a mall. She gets accidentally tased by the brother and falls off of a second-story railing. Has a concussion.
Yes.
And is fed Vicodin from their mother's cabinet where she's out of it. She's eating toothpaste. Okay?
Yes.
Later on in the movie, after all this crazy shit has gone down, you hear a voice message from her to Chris. And she goes, Chris, I just talked to my sponsor. I owe you an apology. This woman is an addict who was taken to a town where she doesn't know anybody, injured, pumped full of Vicodin pills, addictive pills.
Yes.
And then gaslit the entire time.
That is true. She is gaslit the entire time.
She does crazy things. She was also drugged by people she doesn't know against her will as an addict.
Not valid. Very valid. Very valid. Because that's a very quick moment at the end where she's like, oh, I talked to my sponsor. I owe you an apology.
I have a sponsor. I am in active recovery when you did all these things to me.
Yeah, that is pretty wild. That is right.
Right?
You are right. Yes.
So, she's kind of nuts and flaky and whatever.
Yes.
But, a lot of her flakiness is, I'm horny.
Yeah.
Right.
Which I would call her branding.
Yes. This is the best-selling poster in America. I was like, absolutely, they do not keep track of.
That made me laugh so hard. that there's like charts of posters.
Charts of charts.
Of poster sales. And maybe, I don't know, maybe that is a thing somebody keeps track of, but I was like, that's a very funny thing to say.
It's like, oh no, we're slipping to the Samantha poster. We got to get the...
That's so funny.
The Scarface dorm room poster is sliding.
Oh, Pulp Fiction is dropping. It's dropping so fast. Samuel L. Jackson and fucking John Travolta, they're not doing it anymore for the kids.
No. It's all, oh, God. What dorm room poster did you have?
I just described it for you.
You just had it? Okay.
It was the John Travolta, Samuel L. Jackson with the gun.
Yeah,
you know the picture.
Scarface.
Yes.
I
didn't have
Scream
Scarface.
Was big. The original Scream movie poster.
Yeah.
Reservoir Dogs.
Oh, I had a Reservoir Dogs poster for sure. I was a Tarantino girly for a while.
Like, I like movies.
I'm cinema. I love cinema.
I'm not like other people. I've got a Quentin Tarantino poster in my dorm room.
Hey, it's so I could trick the men.
Yeah, the Calvin Klein of the girls kissing.
Oh, I don't know that one.
It's like a Gene commercial. Okay. There's two women with their tops off, their boobs pressed together, and they're like making out.
I could see how that would be popular amongst the youths.
Amongst the youths. Yes. Anyway, I was in a triple dorm room, so there was actually no room for dorm room posters because every inch of wall was covered by bed, desk, or wardrobe.
Nice.
Including some of the windows.
That must have smelt great.
Did not. Was not great. The windows did open, thank Christ.
Oh my God, yeah, thank God for that.
Samantha got dogged. She's being used, which is never nice.
Made me really I'm like, you know what? Yeah.
She's probably like, I'm going to go to...
He caused her relapse.
Yeah, I'm going to go to Paris for Christmas because Christmas is a difficult time for me as an addict. Yeah. So I need to be in a place that is not familiar and with somebody I can trust. Completely betrays that. Gets drugged up. she does fine. She does after that. You know, she has a music career. She's good.
Yeah. Okay. And just to touch back on Chris, our main character, did you notice that everything he seemed to do kind of turned to violence every time?
Yes.
I was like, this is a man that have shown you, since he showed up, all he's had is outbursts. Okay, that's all he's done the entire time. He is emotionally irregulated. Okay, he is not in tune with himself at all. He is lashing out at every single person, thing, mother, child, doesn't matter, losing it. Even with Dusty, like, he tackles him. It's like, this could have been a conversation.
Yeah.
Everything he does could have been a conversation.
There is a line that Dusty says, this is a children's Christmas concert. What the hell is wrong with you?
And that is
legit.
And he's supposed to be the villain, and it's like, well, yeah, who wouldn't tackle him? He's trying to sleep with Jamie. And it's like, so are you.
So are you. But what Dusty did not do was take out his anger at having to have rental skates. First of all, you can still skate on skates that aren't that sharp.
That was also a weird plot point as well.
Because rental skates are sharpened every time.
They're fine.
They're not like, you're not going to do NHL, but you're also playing pond hockey with children.
You're probably fine.
To which he does, in this hockey game, my God.
No, this is like so chaotic, yeah.
He is so upset about being called out at being bad at hockey that he punches a child in the helmet. He takes a closed fist swing at a kid, punches them in the helmet, which does not feel great, and then is body checking everyone, which is clearly it's a no contact game. It's a pond hockey with kids that he's stepping in to be the extra man, and then takes a slap shot at a kid in goal. Oh, and that's how the ambulance gets called, because it bounces off the post and hits him in the face. You did that at a child? You're not doing face masks. That's why you keep the puck on the ice.
Yeah, and you also, the charming thing to do here is to get the kids really involved and pass it to them and cheer them on.
And you take the score.
And not take over.
Yes.
No part of, like, me as a woman watching that game, if I watched a guy dunking on kids repeatedly, there is no way we are getting to a penetrative state. Okay, we are not. It is not happening, okay? I can't. There's no world where that's going down now.
Yeah.
Oh, I watched him be mean to him. He freaked out in the car. I watched him do that. Okay, freaked out on a server. Okay, in the restaurant. Freaked out on a server.
Yes.
Freaked out in the car by himself that he thought he was by himself. That didn't happen. Okay, he tackles Dusty. He's
physically violent to his brother the whole time.
He's physically violent to his brother the whole time. Violent to these kids, okay, that are just trying to play a nice hockey game. And I don't care if little kids are being little shits. They're kids.
Yeah.
They're children. Just laugh at them and continue.
You have to be the bigger person morally and literally.
Yeah.
Right? You are literally the bigger person.
Yes. My God, it's so weird to watch this movie in this time.
Well, and there's a scene there in the hockey scene where a girl playing hockey calls him a pussy for being bad at hockey. And I just want to tell you, I looked it up. This movie was filmed in Saskatchewan, and that is the most Saskatchewan thing I can possibly think of.
Child calling you a pussy is so funny. Yes.
You don't know how to play pond hockey, you pussy?
You pussy? Yes.
Like, no, that girl was cast in Saskatchewan, for sure. That is a Saskatchewan local.
I also think...
Moose Jaw, I think.
And I'm sure I'm not the only one that feels this way. Children swearing is hilarious every time. I don't care.
They shouldn't do it, and that's what makes it so funny.
Called me a pussy, you would have to pick me up off the floor. I'd be laughing so hard.
You've taken me out of the game.
No, it's not.
Career-ending injury, child.
That's so funny.
Injury.
That's so unbelievably funny. I would lose my mind, okay? I would be done the game not because I'm hurt, but because that's the funniest fucking thing that's happened to me in a hot minute, okay? A child calling, I can't. I couldn't handle it. And he just takes everything out on everyone around him, and it's everyone else's problem. And if things aren't going, he is so much better suited for Samantha than Jamie.
Yes.
He is wild.
And let me just tell you this. Not being able to control your anger to that extent is not something that you develop as you get better. That was him in high school, too. Mm-hmm. You know? So you're like, why wasn't Jamie into him in high school? Because that's a guy who, as much as you like him, you want to kind of keep at an arm's length because you know that he's got a temper.
Absolutely. I've dated people like that. It doesn't go good.
Yeah.
It's bad.
Yeah. And even if it doesn't, rise to the level of like abuse, it's still just like, man, you're not handling stuff well. You're not mature enough to be in a relationship because you get angry about XYZ.
There was no part of me that believed with everything we watched Jamie would want him.
No.
There was no big swinging thing other than the list that he wrote a decade ago.
And guess what?
A different person wrote that for you. You have a feeling of, oh, maybe I should have given him a chance because this is so lovely. But it's like, that was a different person.
That's a different guy. He lives in a different spot now. He has a different life. We have gone on very different paths. Yeah. He didn't care about me enough to stay in contact for 10 years. He just went all butthurt and left,
Although there was a small part of me when I was watching that, like 100 Things, I was trying to put myself in that position. I'm like, okay, if somebody showed up at my door, without all the other displays or whatever, if somebody showed up at my door that I knew from whatever, high school or what have you, and they were like, listen, I found this list. I just really wanted you to have it. I think about you a lot, and I just thought you should have this. That might work on me. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah?
It might. You're putting me back in the past. There's a lot of things that are working here where I'm like, I might give it a shot.
I can
might
see
give it a go.
I can see it as a conversation starter.
Oh yes.
I found this. Wouldn't it be? Let's get together because some of this stuff is so funny and so weird. Mm-hmm. Like you don't have 100 personality traits when you're in high school, you know.
Yes.
Let alone there being 100 things about you to like, you know. So that's a conversation starter. Then you like, how have we grown since then?
Yeah. Let me get to know you right now, and maybe that looks good.
Yeah. And one final villain I do want to defend is the high school bully. Todd.
Hilarious.
Because this whole movie is about like not really being able to escape what you thought about high school.
Okay.
And don't get me wrong, I do get that there's a certain like you go home and you regress a little bit. Like the people.
Absolutely, that is factual.
Yeah, especially in the eyes of your family, you know, like
factual.
whatever. But he goes to the bar that night and it's Tim. And he is his name, and he's still wearing his high school football letterman's jacket. Yep. He's got a bald head, and he's drunk in a bar in the holiday season. Okay, and it's like, look at him, guy peaked in high school. We never see any evidence that is true.
Yeah,
he is in a bar the week of Christmas in his hometown, having a good time.
Yeah.
What's pathetic or sad about that? You're here.
You're here. That is so
That's
funny.
also the appropriate place and time to be fucking loaded off your ass. Also, your Letterman jacket from high school still fits you 10 years later. Good for you. This guy's keeping it together.
That's a W
this guy
for
is
sure.
Keeping it together.
Buddy, my prom dress could fit over one of my thighs. There's no way.
Oh, yeah. Right?
There's no way.
No way. I think I weighed 110 pounds in high school.
Sweet. I don't think I've ever weighed 110 pounds in my entire life.
I was a small boy. I am a fine wine. I have aged. I'm aging better than. That's what I mean when I said, like, you look back, you're like, yeah, you had nothing to offer people. You were 110 pounds, soking wet. You look like
I'm sure you were lovely, Craig. I'm sure you were a very nice lad.
But I'm just saying, this guy probably has a beautiful life. He's just in his town and bald.
That was another. Yeah, they really a mid-2000s movie really leans heavily on the fact that it's like, society only values you by what you look like.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh yeah, I mean, not necessarily. There are some grains of truth in that, but that can't be everything. Yes, this guy might be living a wonderful life.
Yeah, he's not. He is not at all portrayed as still being a villain. Mm-hmm. He doesn't like screw over Dusty or Chris in any way to do this. He's kind of just drunk and remembers you.
Yep. Yeah.
Fine.
And oh my god.
And he has grown since reading that out to people. That was
Certainly.
a dick move back then.
Oh, absolutely.
But what has he done since then?
Also, the most cartoonish part of that movie, of everybody just going, rah, 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 just like dying laughing. I'm like, there's no way you're holding court over this. This is the weirdest pitch.
Yeah, because that party is weird.
It is.
It's clear that some people there don't like Chris, but no one's like, why are you here? You can't be here. Because we all know that you're friends with Jamie.
Yeah.
Like, I also can't see a high school where it's like, look at this loser pouring his heart out to this hot girl. I mean, I don't know. I guess I would sit there and be like, this is kind of really cringy it's cringy that you wrote that. It's cringier that you're reading this out loud.
Absolutely.
Like, I would leave the room. I'd be like, I can't. Secondhand embarrassment.
That is for a private brunch. Okay.
Right?
You want to do a table read of that? That's at a small brunch with a few of the gals, and you're like, okay, I need to tell you something. Okay, I've been with a bunch of women where we're like, let's read this text out loud, okay, for the people. Let's hear it.
Parse it.
Yes, but it's a closed group. It doesn't leave the group. And then we go, okay. And most of the time, it's about somebody I've never met and will never meet. I don't know. I probably don't even know their name. They're just like, oh, here's this weird thing some guy on Tinder sent me. True. Yeah. Let's have a little table read over that.
Let's anonymize this data. Yeah.
No, that was a weird party thing to do. Do you have anything else on these people?
No, I'm very much for recovering addicts.
Yes.
I'm here for the hometown guy who just went bald.
Listen, whoever recommended this movie, slam
dunk.
Yes.
This is perfect for us.
This was perfect for us. Absolutely. Okay, is it time to rank that villain?
Absolutely.
Okay, I've got the friend zone scale.
Okay, great.
So from a kiss on the cheek to a pat on the head, which I think is the most like, you ever gotten patted on the head? You're like, Jesus Christ. My God, it's like I don't even. Anyway, I'm gonna give Dusty just one of the girls. Oh,
Nice.
no, he's fine. He's just one of the girls. Because, yeah, that's it can be hurtful to hear, but it's just one of the facts and figures of the situation. It's fine.
Yeah.
You're fine. Everything was fine. What do you got, Craig?
So I've got the just friend scale.
Okay.
So like from a friend who will return your text. All the way up to a friend who will bail you out of jail.
Yeah.
Right. I'm going to give Samantha, actually. I'm going to do her. The friend who will help you move. Because it's
nice.
difficult, it's hard, and not all that pleasant, but by God, there's a reason for it.
Okay, I like that. That's solid. Okay, team. Before we get to our heroes and villains of the week, as always, there's a couple of ways you can help out the podcast. If you have a couple bucks and you want some bonus content, you're like, I need more. I want more. You can hit us up on Patreon, patreon.com/villainwasright. We drop 2 bonus episodes a month. This month's Craig's pick was Canadian bacon, or that's right, Canadian bacon. Or P-meal, as we like to call it. So Craig picks a good movie. I pick a bad movie because I genuinely love bad movies. We discuss those, loose format. We get off the rails most of the time. And we've got a couple of other tier, like ad-free. We've got audience choice, which is what our next episode is. So if you want to have your voice heard, you can hit us up on Patreon. But if you would like to follow us or get in touch with us,
you can hit us up on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook at Villain Was Right. You can also email us at villainwasright@gmail.com with your suggestions, comments on the show, whatever you want. We do read every email. We're not the best at getting back, but we do read. We compile a list. So if you have sent in a suggestion, guarantee that you have it on the list. And thanks so much for everyone who listens and everyone who tells your friends about it and reaches out and lets us know how much you love the podcast. We love you. And now it is time for the heroes and villains of the week. I've got both this week. I've got a hero and a villain, but on a very specific theme.
Okay.
Which is I'm going to put it as civics. Okay. Because we recently this is my hero. Here in Canada, we recently had an election, right? A crazy election. But I just feel like not enough people say this. My hero of the week is Elections Canada.
Oh, damn.
The people who oversee our elections in Canada. Because let me tell you, I and everyone I've talked to has always said how easy it is to vote here.
It is very easy to vote here.
It is very easy.
Yeah.
It is painless. We had a provincial election not too long ago. I know
Took me 3 minutes both times.
I did not even break stride for the provincial election. I walked.
Oh, yeah. It was actually spooky. I was a little concerned for how many people were voting for the provincial election. I was like, I haven't seen a person.
Yeah. But
oh, no.
all these stories you hear about other places where there's big lineups and, if you're in line, don't leave and all the rest. I was just like, that's never happened to me. It's always such a convenient place, like within walking distance of my house, like forever. Like the volunteers are nice. The signage is great. It's easy to access.
Pretty happy.
Everybody's pretty happy. Yeah. It's easy. It's all paper ballots. There's all this stuff. And it's so well organized that you don't really ever notice it. And I just want to thank them. And I know this isn't like, I don't live in rural Nunavut. Like, I know that it's different in other places. I know I'm downtown Toronto, whatever. But it's like, I just walk into an old folks home or walk into a high school or walk into a community center or a church and I just vote and I leave and I don't think about it. So thank you so much for that. For running that.
Shout out.
That's bureaucracy at its best. And then on the same civics thing, I have a villain this week, which is not the Canadian government, but it has to do with taxes. TurboTax.
All right.
Because I went to go file my income tax and I was completely done. I was ready to hit submit and file and send it to the government and say, this is how much I owe you. And there's this little part on the Canadian taxes where if you have a spouse, common law, whatever, they just need you to put in what your spouse's income is right at the beginning. So I'd finished everything and I went back to fill that in at the beginning of the form for Kat and I filled it in and I don't know what I hit. I hit some sort of weird button and it immediately reverted to start preparing Kat's tax return. I was like, I'm not doing that. She's doing it. And I was like, how do I get back to mine? I could not do it. I called their support line. I had them take over the machine, everything. It had wiped, whatever I did, had wiped every piece of information I had put in. I had to start over from scratch, re-enter every single one of my business expenses, re-enter all my T4 slips, everything. I had to start over. Thank God I started that the day before they were due. It was like 11 o'clock at night. I was done, wiped clean. And I was like, I had to do it all over again. I was furious because it is the hardest and most boring thing that you do in a year. And I had to do it twice. Fuck that. Fuck TurboTax. Fuck them for not being able to get that information back. Anyway.
Buddy, that is my fucking literal fucking nightmare.
Yep.
I can't. Getting me to do any paperwork point is impossible. I hate it.
Doing it twice?
I hate it. I can't. I couldn't. I don't even think I could ever sue anybody just because I literally could not get through any paperwork point.
No.
My
so that's
God.
my villain.
No, that's a strong villain. That's a strong villain.
You know what's worse than doing your taxes? Doing it twice.
Yes. It feels like those websites that are like, upload your resume. Now fill out our resume form. It's the same. Anyway,
what do you got for it?
I have a hero turn villain, which is the man we were talking to at the bar last night, because he did this very interesting thing that I genuinely thought was kind of charming and nice, where he would walk up to somebody, and he picked you, Craig. You were our first. Yes. You were his first selection. And he walks up to you and he goes, "Can I show you something?" And you're like, "Yeah, I guess, yeah." And he just showed you a little piece of paper with a happy face on it. And he goes, "So can we be friends?" And then you were like, "Yeah, of course we can be friends." So then it turned into a game where he was like, "Can you pick another person for me to do this to in the bar?" So then it ended up coming all around the bar and then coming back to us because somebody picked me.
Yeah.
And then when I said, "Yes, we can be friends," 2 men cheered at the end of the bar because they had picked me. And it was just like, it was cute. And then he says like, "Oh, and this is how we get a bar of like whatever 30 people to be friends together and be friendly, and it's like a nice vibe." And I was like, "Oh, you're right. That's like really great. And it was very cute. And then he showed us this other picture that his friend had drawn of a different smiley face. And we were like, no, that looks like an upside down dick. You can't show that to people. And then we flipped it and he goes, oh my God, it does. And I was like, oh, this is such like a charming, fun interaction. And then we got to the second half of the interaction and everything turned into like, oh, well, what are you, gay? Or, it just started to spiral. And I was like, oh, God, what have we done? Like,
the risk of inviting strangers into your life.
It was just such a heel turn, you know what I mean? Where I was like, oh, fuck, man. Okay, here we go. All right, yeah. I'm sitting here with two men. We should be banging. I don't, and I just felt like I was going back in time. It felt like he was the embodiment of a 2005 movie.
Yeah.
And that's also why I brought him up, because I was like, wow, this is really on theme.
This was a scene from a 2005 movie.
Yes,
Yeah, absolutely.
yes, absolutely. I was like, we started really charming, and then it just dipped really hard, really fast. Although, to his credit, he wasn't too, he got to stepping pretty quickly.
Yeah, he was like,
you know what I mean?
Do my bit, and then I'm out.
And then I'm out. He felt the vibe shift, and he shipped off, and I was like, oh, okay, well, thank you for that, at least. Anyway, so he is my hero turned villain. Anyway, that is it for us. Where can people follow you, Craig?
You can follow me at Craig Faye Comedy on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, craigfaye.com for show dates.
Next week, it is our audience choice episode of the month where you're going to be covering Chicken Run, which I'm actually really excited to revisit because I haven't seen that movie in a minute. So I'm really excited to do that. And this is The Villain Was Right, reminding you that children swearing is always hilarious.
The Villain Was Right was produced by Andrew Ivimey for the From Superheroes Network. For more great podcasts like this, as well as YouTube series, webcomics, and so much more, visit FromSuperheroes.com.